Father. As Father said, my name is Jon Leonetti, and this is what I do. I get the great opportunity of being able to travel North America this time of year and give what we call parish missions, which is basically a retreat for busy people like yourself, and I'm excited to be back in the Cleveland area. Come to you from Des Moines, Iowa. Have a wife back home, Teresa. We have 3 children. Our son, Joseph Augustine, he's Catholic. Our daughter, Gianna, and our son Anthony. So of course when I travel I bring them with me in my heart. What is the parish mission about, beginning tomorrow night at 6:30 right here? Well, perhaps it's best answered with a question I really want you to think about this evening. And that is, what do you dream of when you dream of a happier life? What do you think about when you think of what could make your life more fulfilling? You know, we're bombarded with a lot of what's or things or moments or events in this life, promising us happiness or fulfillment. You know, dreams of that late night walk on the beach or a heftier 401k or retirement, scratching those 6 winning numbers, the Guardians winning the World Series. We think of, if only this could happen or that could happen, I could finally find it, what it is that I've been chasing or looking for all along. But the reason why we're here this evening, hopefully, is because in the deepest recesses of your hearts, you don't buy that. That as Catholics, we don't simply look to a what or a thing or a moment or an event in this life as our fulfillment, as good as many of those things might be. But rather, we look to a person. And not just any person, Jesus the Christ, God made man. The God-man, as the early church fathers would call him, that was born into his creation 2,025 years ago. Now remember, Jesus is the eternal Son of God, so he always was and he always will be. But he would be born, the second person of the most holy Trinity would be born into his creation. He would take on flesh. And for 33 years, he would walk this planet, 3 of which he would go out in his public ministry. And he would lead with a bold and a radical claim, a claim that would change the course of history forever, a dangerous claim, so dangerous that it would get him nailed to a tree by the authorities of his time, in which he said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." He said, "Come unto me, all you who labor and are heavy burdened, and I will give you rest." He said, "I am the light of the world." A claim that no other teacher or prophet or founder of any religion has ever dared to make. I've read a lot of Buddha's writings. Buddha never once pointed to himself in any of his teachings or any of his writings, but rather he gave a philosophy, an ideology for a better way of life. But in Jesus of Nazareth, we have someone that doesn't lead with a philosophy or an ideology, but rather over and over again in the Gospels draws people into relationship with himself as the key to what the entire world is looking for. And that, friends, is either the greatest truth the world will ever know, that in Jesus Christ we find the ultimate fulfillment to this life. It's either the greatest truth, or it's simply put a lie that we should run from. Because Jesus can't be God for me and not God for you, no more than I can be Jon Leonetti and not Jon Leonetti at the same time. It's a philosophical law of non-contradiction. So either Jesus Christ is Lord of all, every living person on this planet, or he's not Lord at all. And we have to decide, number one, do we believe him? You know, I have a good friend of mine once that said, "John," he says, "you Catholics believe in all these absolutes." He said, "There's no such thing as absolute truth. And I said, is that absolutely true? It's either the greatest truth the world will ever know, or it's simply a lie. And we have to decide, number one, do we believe him? And if that question is a yes, there is a second question that we have to follow up and answer, a question that this entire parish mission is about. And that is, what can our lives look like now in a deeper relationship with him? What can my marriage look like? The way I raise my kids or my grandkids, the big and small decisions I make on Monday at school or at work. What can my life look like now in a deeper relationship with Jesus? And so I'm here to invite you tomorrow night for the first talk and Monday night for the second talk, 2 different talks from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Now I promise you I will be out of here get you out of here right at 8 o'clock. My father says there's a forgotten beatitude, blessed are the short-winded, for they shall be invited back. This also is a parish mission for messy people with messy lives. People that don't have their lives all put together. And if you know me, you know I'm a mess too. We're oftentimes good at hiding it from each other. And if you don't believe me that I'm a mess, you can ask my wife. She'd be happy to tell you. She was once asked how she stays married to a man who travels so much this time of year, and she said, because he travels so much this time of year, right? This is not a museum of saints in here. What this is here is a hospital for sinners. We come here because we know the world has never and will never be able to give us what we're looking for. But here, right here, Jesus Christ promises that he can and that he will. So I hope to see you tomorrow night. Bring a friend if you will. Take the risk. 6:30 sharp right here. God bless you and thanks for inviting me.
Thank you.